the bait of the day. Old mid-80s Bagley B3. Old red crawl collar. Man, these things are just awesome. And even on a river here behind the house, these things work too. Bass don't care. That's a big target. They'll hit that dude. Smallmouth and largemouth. They'll both hit this bad boy, especially if you bounce it off 2-3 foot of water off of trees. That's a bad dude right there. Anyway, we got a little something different we're going to do today, folks. Stick around, see what this is going to be about. You ready to run and gun? It's time for blast off. Let's go. Hey guys, Todd here. Welcome back to Bassin 101, where we try to make fishing easy for everybody. Today's topic is one you never hear about on YouTube. Wow, me doing something you don't hear on YouTube. That's unusual. You see a lot of clickbaits with situations that happen, but you never hear anybody talk about this. Fishing etiquette. What not to do. And this is a sensitive subject for a lot of people. I fully understand. I totally get it. And one of the first things I want to start with right off the bat is boat docks. Now, you need to look up your state laws, as far as some of them might even be local laws, on whose property it is. How many of you guys have fished a boat dock, had a landowner come out there and say, "Get off my dock"? You know, you can politely answer that by saying, "I understand the boat dock is your property, but the water underneath it is not." If they still throw a fuss at you about it, just go to the next dock. It's not worth it, guys. It really isn't. It's not worth it. I'm not saying to back down with your tail tucked between your legs and go to the next dock. I just want to fish that one dock right there, man. Don't get like that. If the guy doesn't want you fishing his dock, even though it's legal that you're doing it in most states, just go to the next dock. Don't even worry about it. Don't argue with the guy. He's a landowner. 9 times out of 10, if he calls the cops on you, you're going to lose, because they don't know the law as far as the waterways go. That's the game ward's deal. So just kind of keep that in mind. Another fishing etiquette issue, I've had this happen before too, is, hey man, you're fishing my water. I was here yesterday, especially when it comes to tournaments. All I can say is stand your ground, but do it politely. Say, well, dude, you weren't here. I didn't see anybody else here. I'm fishing this here. I mean, you're more than welcome, to fish right behind me if you'd like. I don't mind. Well, they're fishing used water. I really don't think there's such a thing. I've gone behind people and caught fish. I really don't believe the used water thing, unless they're just so out of whack on their fishing technique that they create a lot of noise and everything else, then don't even worry about it. But stand your ground, but do it politely. And if the guy creates a fuss and he gets in your face about it and everything, just tell him, so you know what, dude, you can have it. Because you ain't going to be here forever. I'll come right behind you next time and I'll fish a spot. That's all you can do. I mean, it's not worth getting into a fight on the water about it, because let me tell you something. Even if you get in a fight with somebody on the water, remember, you're surrounded by water. Somebody won't get wet. So just don't fool with it. Okay? Just be nice about it. Move on. Don't stand your ground, try to fight with the guy. Another fishing etiquette deal that I see all the time too, especially if you're fishing rivers, is you're going to have what I call squatters. Now, squatters are the ones who just don't want to work, and they'll pitch a tent somewhere on private property, and they'll have lines sticking out all over the place, and you're trying to get around that in a kayak or a john boat or something like that. And I'm going to tell you, man, they're going to start crap with you every single time. Well, I'm fishing this spot. Well, you're sound asleep in that sleeping bag. You wouldn't even know I was here unless you happen to wake up. I've had that happen to me. And especially the first spot in the day. Right behind the house, I go straight up and go right to the rapid area. I'll fish those rapids around the cliffs, and I'll just float my way back down. But right there's always that one squatter dude sitting right there. And he always raises cane. I was like, dude, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Aren't you partied out? You should just be sleeping it off. That's not a right way to go about it. But that's natural, though, isn't it? That's a very natural reaction. Just, the way I usually do it is, dude, you're sound asleep. I see you got your fishing lines out. I went around them. I didn't want to touch them. And I'm fishing this set of rapids up here. In about a half hour, I'll be out of your way. You can have it all back again the whole entire day, unless somebody else comes up here. But I've got every right to be right here. Your stuff's sitting back here. I'm up here. And I promise you, I won't hit your stuff as I come back through. And most of the time, that works with that guy. Sometimes it gets kind of hateful about it. And, I stand my ground. But I usually compromise and say, okay, well, if you want this section right here, if it means that much to you, I can go 20 extra feet width-wise over to this back section of this river right here, where you can't even cast and hit me. So what does it matter right there? And I'll fish it. Sometimes you got to stand your ground. But be polite. Don't be hateful with the guy. Okay? Another issue I have with it, just people who are just out there bank fishing. Just typical bank fishing people or whatever. I run across them too, where I come out of the creek and opens up into the river right there. I can go right or left, either way I want to go. There's someone almost always on the bank right there. And 9 times out of 10, I'm always wanting to go right through and go to the right, head up the river. Whenever they're sitting there, that's my plan for the day. That's the baits I tied on for the day. It's a different set of baits up there than it is on the lower end. And every time I go through, and sometimes even before that, there's some guys fishing the bridge right before it. And the creek ain't but, I don't know, 40 feet across, 30 feet across. As I go through, I always apologize. Hey, I'm sorry. I'll be as quiet as I can as I come through here. Or if I'm going around these people, I tell them, don't worry, I'll swing as far out as I can. I'll be as quiet as I can be. That way you guys ain't got to fool with it. That's being polite. I've seen people actually just go right through them. Well, screw it, I'm in a boat. You only got one. I've seen people do that. That ain't cool. That's not cool. Please don't be that guy. It's fishing etiquette is, it basically lands on you. You can't depend on that person to be nice about anything. And like I said, I'm not telling you to tuck your tails between your legs and just pout and go somewhere else. I ain't saying that. You should stand your ground. You got every right to. You paid for your fishing license. You got every right to stand your ground. But do it nice. I try to be as nice as I can be to some people. I remember there was one guy, it's been a few years ago. I had just fished this one spot. And I went down the bank a little bit. It was a short day. I wasn't spending much time out there. As I came back up, this guy's sitting on top of this tree that's under the water. And as I came back through, I said, hey, buddy. I said, can I help you out a little bit? I said, there's a huge tree. I mean, humongous. Sitting right up underneath you right now. You're right on top of that dude. I mean, you see that little stuff sticking out of the water? That's attached to a tree about 40 feet long. And he got hateful with me. I told him, I said, well, dude, I just caught 3 bass out of that tree. But I stayed off of it. Apparently he didn't know how to read water as far as, seeing a stub sticking out of the water and thinking, well, where does that eventually attach to? He apparently didn't think about that. But the guy right across the channel got smart with me about it. Apparently it was his buddy. He got smart with me and says, you got any advice for me? I told him, I said, actually not for you, no, because where you're at sitting over there, that's a complete mud silted bottom, and there ain't nothing there but probably some catfish or two. Have a nice day. People like that sometimes just, he got a smart aleck answer, a polite answer, but he got a smart aleck answer. Because I see somebody on the river, a lot of times they'll slow down, I'll slow down. We end up talking for about 5 or 10 minutes, and I don't mind telling them everything I'm doing. It's like, yeah, well, I patted them on these kind of trees right here, and this is the bait that I'm throwing right here, and and so far I've got 4 for the day. That's what I've been pattering. Well, I ain't got one of them. I says, well, maybe you should try this technique or this technique or this technique. And I'll even tell them, I fished there, I fished there, I fished right there, I fished right where you're sitting. I'll be nice about it because I don't mind sharing information. It's a river. It changes every day. Don't be so secretive about stuff like that. The next heavy rain we get and it floods a little bit, all those trees you just fished are liable going to be gone. And there'll be new ones put in there. See it all the time. The bottom rarely ever changes, but the cover almost always does. So don't be too afraid to give somebody information if you're catching fish, unless you're just one of those guys that just keeps it to yourself. Which if you are, okay, you are. I just don't mind helping somebody and talking with them on the water and shooting crap and going on. Don't bother me a bit. I've actually made some pretty cool friends like that I see off and on the river, and we'll always stop and talk. Never fails. That's just some of the stuff I want to give you guys. Probably, the last one, almost forgot about it. Old age, man. Almost forgot about this. Boat ramp etiquette. If you're one of those kind of guys that takes your time on the boat ramp and other people are waiting, stop. Get off the ramp. That's not polite. That's not nice. You want to get your stuff together, do it up in the parking lot. Get your boat ready to where as soon as you get down there, you go and you launch that thing. That's when you hit the boat ramp. Now, if there's nobody there, or you see the boats and the trailers everywhere, but you don't see nobody around, or whatever, well, then go on the boat ramp and get stuff going, this, that, and the other. At least it's just, you only got to move one time and that's it. But always keep yourself ready, because if you start seeing people come in, get off. All right, go ahead and just pull up. Unless you got 2 or 3 minutes to go ahead, finish fast. But if there's nobody around, go ahead and take your time. All right, that's okay. But if there's people waiting on the ramp and you want to take your time, that ain't gonna fly. And if it does, and you say something to the person, that's okay too, but be polite. Can I help you guys with something? I mean, we got a bunch of people here waiting to get on the ramp. You guys are kind of holding it up. Is there something I can help you with? Kind of let them know, hey, people are waiting, hurry up. But at the same time, can I help you with something? Can I help you launch? You want me to hold the rope, launch the boat as you pull out? I'll be glad to do that for you if it helps us move along. People are on time schedule too. So that's just my 2 cents on that thing, guys. That's, the whole thing is just be polite. Don't run with the tail tucked between your legs. But at the same time, if you can't get out of that situation, just leave. You can always come back to it later. That's okay. There's always another time. If it's not that day, there'll be another time you can fish that spot or that dock or whatever. If you want to fish that dock that guy raised Cain about earlier, come back at night when he ain't seeing you. He won't even know you're there. See? There's always ways to work around stuff like that. So I hope this helps you guys. You'll have to forgive me with my eyes and my cherry red nose. I've had wonderful allergies today that I've been fighting. Don't know where it came from. Just came out of the blue. But hope this helps you guys out. Just remember, please, just be nice to people. Don't sit there and be a butthead. That's what we don't need, because it gives us fishermen a bad name. And that's the last thing we need, is just to have a bad name. We should be people that, that people can admire. Wow, man, that dude just handled that situation great. Yeah. You should. You should. I'm getting better at it. I'm not always the best guy, but I try to be. I really do. I try to be. So I got some work to do too. I'm not trying to toot horns here. I'm just as guilty as you are on a lot of things. So anyway, I hope this helps you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, click that bell icon, tell your friends about the channel. Didn't mean to step off some of the stuff I've been doing here lately, but I figured after watching people on YouTube having almost gunfights with other people over fishing spots and docks and this, that, and the other, I was just like, man, this is just clickbait stuff right here. This needs to be explained. And so that's what I feel like I needed to do, was explain it, because I don't believe that the situations that happen on those things, I think half of them are set up and the other half were handled completely wrong by the guy in the boat. That's just me. That's just me. Because if I was a non-fisherman and I owned that boat dock, I don't think I want nobody fishing it either. Especially if I had an expensive pleasure boat sitting there, which pleasure boats don't do me any good. Neither do jet skis. Don't get me started with that one. Hope you enjoy the channel, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video as well. And we will catch you next time. So until then, may the Father bless you and keep you in Yeshua's name. And as always, tight lines and fish on.